Justice League Dark, issue 12, James Tynion the fourth, writing with Alvaro Martinez on the art. So take it away.
Yeah, so this actually cuts between two different time periods. We see Wonder Woman wanting to start up this, this league.
Justice League Dark, and we get justification of the name, which I like. Like,
of course you do.
Well, yeah, because it's like, well, why is it Justice League Dark? Like, yeah, we just call it that, but within the Justice League, how Wonder Woman sets out the argument to Batman, I love that she sticks the landing. Like, she had an idea, we'll call it Justice League Dark. Well, why? And then I feel like she worked backwards, but that reasoning is very sound.
It is, yeah.
And then on the counter to that, we have it, in that Lost City, the final stand of the magic users, and Satana and Diana show up, and we get the Lords of Chaos, which is my favorite hardcore band.
They're so good, and they kind of bring the rest of the team into being Lords of Chaos. We get a freaking demented Bobo.
Yep, with the Sword of the Night.
Yep, that thing's terrifying. Man-Bat goes all cool as shit, and Swamp Thing just grows a bit.
Multiple arms. Yeah. Well, Swamp Thing grows a bit and is darker. Like, he looks like a tangle of branches, and, there's no uniform because he's chaos. And I like the reasoning with them here is Naboo's like, oh, no, you don't know what you've done. And Zatanna, which that wording, there's that meme that goes around every few years where it's like, if you can read this, go back and look that they're not in order.
Yeah.
Right? Because I thought they were all backwards. Until I got to one of them, one of the pages like, oh, no, wait. The words are just jumbled.
Yeah, it got me on the first one. She's saying, break it all. But, all is LAL instead of LLA, obviously.
Right. And so, but the whole reasoning of it is magic is chaotic. The whole point of it is not to, you have these rules there, but the whole point is it's this unknown quantity, and you don't know how it's going to impact things. So you need to embrace the chaos with the order. Like, it's a very Taoist principle of, it's almost like of the Force too.
Yeah,
right?
It's all about a balance that, they're not inherently good or bad, chaos or order.
Exactly. And that by embracing the chaos, this is how they're going to beat the Lords of Order. And man, do we get a good fight from the Lords of Chaos versus the Lords of Order. And old-ass Jason Blood.
Some reinforcements, yeah.
Yeah, so we get some reinforcements. And it seems like Khalid is a new candidate for Fate again, which is cool.
Potentially, yeah.
Because he manages to trap Naboo in this, because Naboo's not paying attention to him because he's just a lowly, assistant, right? And he manages to trap him in a like a symbol type thing. I forget what he says.
Yeah.
But we also get Jason Blood in a new form, right? So he's the Demons 3 now, which is cool as shit. He has a new rhyme and everything.
Yeah. This is great.
Yeah. So so I wonder what's going on with Etrigan, right? Because that Etrigan took off, right?
He did. He went back to hell
after he unbound from him. But I just feel like this is Tynion resetting the table, which I feel like. Did you read Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange?
No.
Okay, so in Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange, they made this big deal about that all magic has a cost, and we just never see it with Doctor Strange because he's so good at it. But he has to suffer and be miserable and do all of this stuff in order to keep in touch with his magic. And this group comes through and basically destroys all the magic. And Aaron basically rebuilds the new rules of magic. And here I feel that's what Tynion's doing. He's like, look, this is how magic works now going forward, is you have to embrace the darkness a little bit and know, whatever lurks in the dark, we're there to fight it. And man, it was real cool.
It was, and obviously Zatanna's the one who kind of channels the magic to trap Fate in the helmet, because there's a bit where they kind of get the helmet off the body, and they're like,
Mhm.
and the helmet and the cloak and the gloves just kind of float there, and he's like,
Yeah.
you really think I need a host for this shit? Come on,
Right.
I'm better than that.
Right. But we counted on you doing that. So
Yeah. So they trap him in the helmet, but Zatanna's spell actually kind of fixes the helmet, so no more of this half melted shit from
yeah,
Brimstone.
which I liked. I liked that the whole reason that it was melted was so he could fix it now.
Yeah.
In this new age of magic, and that now Naboo he can no longer take full control of the
which makes
person.
Fate more interesting in the sense of it's usually the other person's kind of locked in the mind and Fate comes out and takes over.
Right.
It won't be that anymore. It'll be Fate maybe in there, maybe as a guiding hand.
Right.
But
Naboo in there.
Yes, Naboo.
Sorry, Fate. Yeah. So, like, again, I feel like it's Doctor Strange now. Like, he is fully just DC's Doctor Strange, where he'll have to know the magic, and he can consult with Naboo, but Naboo's not. It's less Shazam and more Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it's not the first time that's happened. I think the run in the 80s kind of did a similar sort of thing, where this was where Naboo was not in the helmet at all. Naboo was inside Kent Nelson's dead body. It was the whole thing.
Well, this was just the Fate, right? Just Fate.
Yeah.
Book. Yeah.
Yeah. So you had Kent Nelson, who was dead, but Naboo in his body, and then you had Fate still there alongside him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, I loved it at a really good place, and we get the end conversation with Diana and Batman, and her basically him being like, "You can't do this," and she's like, "Well, Bruce, that's because you operate out of fear, and you can't fear the dark. You have to embrace the dark," and that's where the name comes from. And I like that, and I also love we get these nice moments throughout that section because it's intercut throughout, but them looking at the basement of the Hall of Justice, the normal Justice League, in Flash, like.
Well, we got a dragon skeleton. Nobody told me. What the hell's going on here? This is cool as shit.
You get to do a Justice League of Magic users? I want a Justice League of Speedsters. And I think it's John Stewart who's like, that's such a terrible idea. You don't need to do that.
And he's like, but hear me out here. And they're just like, no, Barry. No.
Yeah. So, and it's like, Tynion's so good at writing the Justice League. Why does it? Oh, wait. Because he always writes the Justice League now.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
He's got this version down, hasn't he?
He's so good at the team dynamic, like whether it was on Detective or Justice League, now Justice League Dark. Like I feel there's definitely, because what issue was this? This issue
12.
12. So it's a year into this as well, and I feel like he's out where it needs to be now. Like we had to get through the Witching Hour and all of that to get to the story that he's telling of how they're going to use these new rules of magic to fight the other kind.
Yeah, it's actually felt like this has been a year of mostly setup lately. Like I said, we're getting a new Fate next issue. The assumption is that it'll be Khalid again. My only thing is it does say a new Fate revealed, so I'm wondering, will it be someone else instead? Because obviously he had a brief run as Fate.
Yeah, but so who's also read that, though? Unless it's Man-Bat, unless they just go side complete, and then it's Man-Bat as Fate, because he's adept at science because he's taking it from that.
But he's been kind of teaching himself magic, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we get Zatanna and her coming to terms that this is what her father would have wanted for her, is destroy magic as we know it to rebuild it as something new. Yeah. Which with knowing who Zatanna is, and her basically, she is the crux of all magic in the DCU. Like anytime you want to tell a story with magic, usually Zatanna is going to be involved, and now Constantine, because of he's no longer stuck just to Vertigo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I like what this book's doing.
Yeah, this was great.
And the Lords of Order make a run for it. So there's a couple of them still out there operating. Yeah. But I feel like they're not going to be too much trouble.
No, I think they know that they can deal with them now, so they're not a huge threat, so to speak, but they're something to be aware of in the background.
Yeah. But I also like this flipping of the Lords of Order, kind of the shit stirrers versus the Lords of Chaos.
Yeah.
Versus just Mordru. So, yeah, no, Really good. And the art looks great. There's a lot of fun creatures at play here because, again, all the designs of the Lords of Chaos, Justice League Dark are really cool.
There's some great layouts. One of my favorite points issue we haven't even talked about is it's when Zatanna is in chaos form, and she's like, break it all, and she's literally grabbing panels and like scrunching them up and ripping the panels apart into just the white space behind it. Yeah. It's cool as shit.
And then you get fragmented panels all the way through until the end.
Fixed. Yeah.
Yep. Which is a really fun, nice, a nice little touch.
Yeah.
Here.
Because it all plays very straight up until that point. And then she literally just grabs a panel and just tears it apart.
Yeah.
And then everything's in just fragments. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff here. So I feel like Pete's missing out.
Yeah. You rating it?
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 9. I really enjoyed this issue.
Maybe an 8.5, but I still really liked it.